Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this special edition of Strat-O-Matic Baseball. You may be wondering why this setup is a little bit different than what it was in the past, and there's a reason for that. But I've been waiting for an excuse to play this game between these two teams, and now I think I have it. The 2024 Chicago White Sox 41 and 121 taking on the New York Mets of 1962, who were 40 and 120. And not only is it going to be a Strat-O-Matic game with these two teams, but it's going to be played in Basic. So I'm looking for an excuse to use Strat-O-Matic Basic. I know people out there love Basic. There's probably quite a few Strat players that only play Basic, old school guys probably mostly. So I figured I'd at least put one video out there for the benefit of those people who prefer the Basic and think the Basic is just fine and you don't lose any accuracy in the Basic, going by what I've heard before. Haven't played a full season replay in Basic to know. Some people swear by Basic, so I don't know. Got the rule book here because I haven't played Basic in a while, or in a long time. But when you play Basic, you only need these 2 pages. That's the whole rule book right there. You got how to read the cards, you got runner advancement on hits, you got fly ball, ground ball, X chances, other types of results you can get, offensive strategy, stealing, and infield and strategies for infield back and infield in. And that's pretty much all you need. So I will keep this handy. Now for base running, you don't need to get a lead or anything like that. You take the catcher rating, and that will subtract from what the base runner can do. And the base runners are going to be using their letter grades, not their number grades, for stealing bases. So Chicago White Sox, New York Mets. The game technically is in New York, so we're going to have New York be the home team, and we are not using the DH. We are not going to use the DH. But that's not really going to hamper the White Sox too much. I mean, the pitcher for the White Sox will be a 1 hitter, and Jay Hook will use the 3rd card. So Crochet, the pitcher for the White Sox, will use hitting card number 1. Hook will use hitting card number 3. So it's not that much of a difference. And what I did is I took the lineups for both teams when they won their first game. The White Sox, I believe, on their 5th game, they won this against Pittsburgh. And this was the lineup they used, with one exception. Moncada was playing 3rd base and hitting 2nd, but he's not carded by Strat. So I took DeYoung, who played in this game, came in as a substitution, and put him in at 3rd base. This is the exact lineup for the Mets. This was game 10. They lost the first 9, but they won the 10th game. And this is the lineup they used. So that's how I got the lineups there, and that's what I'm going to try to go with. Got our old school Strat-O-Matic dice. No dice tower, no nothing. We're just going straight Strat-O-Matic dice and try to be as old school as possible. And like I said, I do have the basic fielding chart. I've got the basic strategy chart when that's needed. And I've got the rule book in case that's needed. I doubt I need it, but just in case, you never know. Let's look at the pitcher-catcher factors. First of all, for the White Sox, their catcher is Martin Maldonado. And Martin Maldonado for the White Sox is a catcher 3. So he's a catcher 3 in basic. So when you're a catcher 3, that's going to be a -2. So the Mets, if they try to steal, their final result will be -2. For the Mets, their catcher is Chris Cannizzaro, and Cannizzaro is a 2. So since he's a 2, that means it's going to be a -3 for any White Sox players that want to steal. Alright, so I think that kind of wraps up as much as I can think of at the top of my head. So without further ado, I believe we will get going. And the pitcher for the Mets was Jay Hook, and I'll put him over here. And leadoff man for the White Sox is going to be, if I can find him, I just had him a second ago, and now I misplaced him. Oh, he got mixed up here. So it's going to be Andrew Benintendi for the White Sox. He will do the leading off for Chicago. And I will roll the dice by hand. I may need this. I may need to do this. Let's see here. How much room do I have? Actually, I think I do have room to put the dice tray. So I think instead of having dice fly all over the place, probably behooves me to use the dice tray. So I will go ahead and use the dice tray. I wasn't going to at first, but I think it's probably a better idea. Just for posterity's sake, I guess, for lack of a better term. So we will use the dice tray. So we get our everything out here the best I can. Let's see if we can add a little more light to the subject. I think that might help it some, giving it a little extra light. Hopefully it's not too bright. I can turn down the overhead light just a hair. Make it a little cooler on that side. Let's see if that helps. When you try something new, you get all kinds of possibilities here. So I think we're just going to go with this and hope it works. Tabby is with me. I won't know if it works until it's over, because when you record, you can't really tell. So it looks like I got just enough room to show the picture card. As long as I stay on the score sheet here, I think we'll be all right. Okay, so without further ado, let's get this Strat-O-Matic basic game underway. Andrew Benintendi facing Jay Hook. Got him lined up at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spot. So Benintendi will lead off. And we're going to get a 4-6 on Jay Hook, and that's a leadoff walk. So Benintendi will draw the base on balls. He's a steal of D, so he's not going anywhere. That'll bring up Nicky Lopez. I'm sorry, should be Paul DeYoung. What's Nicky Lopez doing up here? Nicky Lopez should be way down the pike here. He should be down here in front of Maldonado. Somehow I got these out of order. I don't know how. But I'll get him straight. Paul DeYoung, who would later get traded to Kansas City, but starts the season with the White Sox. And we get a 6-8, and that is a 1 for a double. 2 to 20 is a single. That's a 6. Single 2 stars, and first 2 are on for the Sox. And they are in business. First and second, nobody out for Lewis Robert, center fielder. Mets are playing back for the double play. 6-10, fly ball center field. Center fielder is Hickman. He's a 2. So we bring our chart in for the outfield. He is a 2, so we're looking at this column right here with the D20 roll. I should have used the D20 was there. I just picked it up, didn't even see it. So we'll re-roll it. That's a 5. 2 and a 5 is an out 4. And down here under out 4 for basic, it says runners hold. So the fly ball was not deep enough. It's 1 away. And that's going to send us to Andrew Vaughn. Now a double play would get the Mets out of the inning. Get a 1-9, and he's going to strike out. So Vaughn strikes out for 2 quick outs. And the White Sox are about ready to blow a golden opportunity to score. Braden Shoemaker, the batter. He is the White Sox shortstop in this game. Never heard of him, but he's a shortstop for this game. 1-9, and he's going to ground it to first, and that's going to end the inning. So how about that? Jay Hook pitches out of the multiple jam and gets out of things without any problems, giving up no runs. So we go to the bottom of the first. It is the White Sox nothing and the Mets coming to bat. And Garrett Crochet on the mound for the Sox. Leading off for the Mets will be third baseman Felix Mantilla. So Felix Mantilla steps to the plate. I'm still not sure about this lighting. I think I might have too much light here, so try to take that off. I don't know if that's going to help. Maybe we'll go with that and ditch the overhead light. See if that helps. Just feel like there might be too much glare there. So we're just going to go with that. We're going to ditch the overhead light and just go with the little flashlight thing that's on the phone, because I am using my phone. I'm not using my webcam. Using the phone only, going really old school to do this recording. So here is Mantilla. It's a 2-6 for Mantilla, and he's going to draw a walk. So just like Benintendi did for the Sox in the first, Mantilla draws a walk, but he's no threat to steal either. And now Elio Chacon is your batter, the shortstop. It's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is Lopez. He's a 2. That was a 7. I almost moved it, but I want to keep it straight this time. That was a 7. So a 2, I got to remember not to move it. So 2 and a 7 for a second baseman. A 2 and a 7 is an out 3. Run on first, out going to second. Completion of double play. So it will be a double play, 4-6-3 on the Mets. And there are 2 away. Just that quickly for Gus Bell, who would later get traded to Milwaukee. 2 outs, bases empty. We get a 6-4, and that's a, 6-4 is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Shoemake, and Shoemake is a 4. And I moved the D20. I gotta remember to keep that D20 in play. 4 and an 8 for a shortstop. 4 and an 8 is a 1 base error, and he may have been out without that, but I just screwed that up. I made the error myself, so sorry, Mr. Shoemake. I made the error myself by moving them. It's just instinct, folks. It's just instinct. When you play Super Advanced for so many years, it's instinct. All right, here is Frank Thomas. We get a 1-9 for Thomas, and that's a strikeout, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for the Metropolitans. We go to the second, no score from Shea Stadium. Actually from, not Shea Stadium, but from the Polo Grounds, because that's where they played their initial season, was the Polo Grounds. But of course in basic there are no ballpark effects to worry about. Here is Dominic Fletcher. He is in right field for this one. 6-7, and that is a 1-7 single. That is a 7. 1-7 single, that is a 7, so it's a base hit for Fletcher. He's no threat to run. We go to Nicky Lopez. 2-6 for Lopez. He's going to pop it out to second base. That's 1 away. No havoc rolls, no checking for wild pitches or balks or any of that stuff in the basic. Here's Martin Maldonado. 6-3, and that's a walk. So now 2 are on with only 1 out, and we're in a bunt situation for Crochet. And in the basic, it doesn't matter what kind of bunting ability you have. He's a C bunter according to the Strat-O-Matic, but in basic, it doesn't matter. You just bunt. Doesn't matter what kind of bunter you are. Just roll 2 D6s and bunt. And we get a 6, and it's batters thrown out by third baseman, runners advance. So it's going to be a sacrifice hit. Sacrifice hit goes 5-4, and both runners will advance to second and third. So 2 down, and Andrew Benintendi, the batter. That's a 1-11, and he's going to pop it up to first, and the White Sox will leave 2 on. And we go to the bottom. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score from the Polo Grounds. Garrett Crochet will face Ed Boucher, I think is how it's pronounced. It's either Bucci or Boucher or something like that. But we'll go with Boucher because it rhymes with crochet. That's a 5-4. And that's going to be a catcher X. Maldonado's a 3. That's a 15. I remembered not to move it this time. 3 and a 15 for a catcher is going to be a foul out. So he fouls out to Maldonado. 1 away for Bucci or Boucher. And here's Charlie Neal, second baseman. 3-7 for Charlie Neal. And that's going to be a ground ball to third, 2 down. And that'll bring up Jim Hickman. Hickman, the center fielder. 1-6, and that's going to be a strikeout. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Mets. We go to the top of the third. And we have no score. Coming up is Paul DeYoung, followed by Robert and Vaughn. That's a 3-7, and that's a fly to left. Hauled in by Thomas, one away for Louis Robert. 111, ground ball to short for Chacon. 2 up and 2 down. That'll send up Andrew Vaughn. 5-9, ground ball to second. 1-2-3 inning for Jay Hook. And Jay Hook, in the game that they won, game number 10, Jay Hook pitched a complete game victory. So that was something to their credit. So we go to the bottom of the third. And Chris Cannizzaro, the catcher, will lead off for the Mets, followed by Hook and then Mantilla against Garrett Crochet. 5-6, and that is a strikeout for Crochet, his third. And now using pitcher hitting card number 3 is Jay Hook. 6-9, it's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Crochet. He has struck out 3 in a row. Back to the top of the order for Mantilla. 6-8, and that's a ground ball first base C, so we'll play it 3-1 for the out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. They go away really quietly. And we go to the fourth, no score, here in New York. So due up for the White Sox is Shoemake to start the top of the fourth. Shoemake, Fletcher, and Lopez, the batters. 2-6, and he's going to line it to second. Snagged by Neal, 1 down. And that'll send up Dominic Fletcher. Whoop, that one die didn't get in there. It got popped out like popcorn. So let's re-roll the whole thing. That was really weird. I've never had that happen before, but it happened here. And now I can't find where it went. Oh, there it is. Okay. These little dice are harder to keep track of. 6-7, and that's a 1-7 single. That's a 20, so he's going to line it to short. Out number 2 for Nicky Lopez. 6-2, and that is a fly to right. 1-2-3 inning for Jay Hook and the Mets. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no score from New York. Benintendi coming back. I'm sorry, Crochet rather coming out. And it'll be Chacon and Bell and Thomas. It's a 2-6 for Chacon, and he's going to get a leadoff single. Chacon singles. He's a B stealer, which would put him as a 1-13, but you have the -2, makes him 11. It'd be a 1-11. And he's going to try it. 1-11, he's going to go. And he gets caught stealing. So Chacon should have stayed where he was, but he didn't. 1 down for Gus Bell. We get a 5-4. 5-4, catcher's X, that's a 1. And Maldonado's a 3. See what happens with that. 3 and a 1 is a strikeout. How do you like that? Usually you think of 1 being bad for the defense in the super advanced and the advanced, but here 3 is a 1 is a strikeout. That's different. So there's 2 away for Frank Thomas. 6-10 for Crochet. Ground ball third base X. We're looking at DeYoung. He's a 3. That's a 16. 3 and a 16 at third base. 3 and a 16 is a 1 base error on DeYoung. So E5. And the White Sox make their first error. 2 down for Boucher. 4-11 for Crochet is a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 5, and that's a 10. Let's see what happens on that. A 5 and a 10 is another error. Back-to-back errors on the White Sox. E5 and now an E1 keeps the inning going for Charlie Neal. Neal, his first time up, grounded to third. That's a 3-12, and he's going to draw a base on balls. It's going to load the bases. So after the first two are out, all of a sudden now the bases are loaded. And Jim Hickman, center fielder, steps to the plate. He struck out his first chance against Crochet. 1-8, and this time he's going to single. Base hit. The Mets will take the lead. These are all unearned runs. Boucher runs at a 12. 2 outs becomes a 14. They'll send him 1-14. And he's out at the plate. Well, that's the second time they've had somebody. Second out of the inning for the Mets came on the base paths, but it was worth a gamble. But it's going to be 8-2 put out. But the Mets do at least get a run and take the lead 1-0 as we head to the 5th here in New York. Another thing about the basic game is the fatigue factor is null and void. So pitchers can go, we can use the pitchers until we need to pinch hit for him or until they're no longer effective. Don't really have to worry about, let's see if the focus is okay on this or not. Hopefully it is. All right. That used to be my problem big time when I was using this phone to record all the time. Was I'd move something in front of the view and it would mess up the focus. I can't tell if it's messing up the focus here or not. Let's see. Hopefully that resets the focus a little bit. If it was out of focus, I don't know. It seems I'm looking down through my phone at the cards and I'm not seeing the cards as clearly as I would like. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll have to wait and see. Here's Maldonado. That's a 3-4, and that's a fly to center. So that is one away. And that'll bring up Crochet using pitcher hitting card number 1. 3-9, and he's going to ground to third. That's 2 away. 4, Benintendi, who's 0 for 1. To 1-4, ground ball to first. That's going to end the inning. So 5 shutout innings turned in by Jay Hook. And the Mets still lead it 1-0 over the White Sox. Bottom of the 5th we go. And Chris Cannizzaro will lead off for the Mets, followed by Hook and Mantilla. Cannizzaro struck out his first chance. 6-2, and that's a fly to left. 1 away. Bring up the pitcher, Hook, he's using pitcher hitting card number 4. But 6-12, so it's a 1-5 single. Anything else he lines to first, that's a liner to first. 2 down. And that brings up Mantilla with 2 outs and the base is empty. Mantilla 0 for 1. 1-6, he's 0 for 2. He's going to strike out. And for Crochet, that's strikeout number 5. So at the end of 5, Mets still lead it 1-0. Go to the 6th. Jay Hook will be facing DeYoung, Robert, and Vaughn for the White Sox. Top of the 6th. To 1-9, and he will strike out. And for Hook, that is only strikeout number 2 for him. Here's Louis Robert. 4-5, and that's a pop out to first. Handled by Boucher, 2 down. And that will send up Andrew Vaughn, first baseman. 2-11, and that's a base on balls. So 2-out walk. Vaughn, no threat to run. And Braden Shoemake, your batter. 1-7, and he will ground to second to end the inning as Charlie Neal throws to first. It's going to do it for the Sox. They come away empty-handed again. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0 Mets. And it's an unearned run thanks to 2 White Sox errors back-to-back. Error on DeYoung at third and the pitcher Crochet. So here's Elio Chacon. 2-3, and that's a walk. Leadoff walk to Chacon. That is walk number 3 for Crochet. Chacon B-stealer, but the way that he got caught last time, so they're going to hold him fast and let Gus Bell and Thomas do their thing. 6-10, and that is a ground ball third base X. He is a 3. That's a 10. So we go to third and a 10, 3 and a 10. We get an out 3, which is a completion of a double play. So it'll be 5-4-3 around the horn, double play. Turned by DeYoung and company. And that's 2 quick outs now for Frank Thomas. Crochet to Thomas. 6-6, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. Strikeout number 6 for Crochet. So it's either a pitching duel or inept offense, or you take your pick. It's 1-0 after 6. Hook back out, and he'll be facing Fletcher, Lopez, and Maldonado. Crochet is 4 batters away, so if he gets to his spot, they will pinch hit for him. But here's Dominic Fletcher. 3-8 for Fletcher is a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Jay Hook. Here is Lopez. 6-12, and that's a fly ball to right field. 2 down for Martin Maldonado. 1-10, and that's a grounder to short. So 7 shutout innings from Jay Hook, as he has kept the White Sox off balance all night. Crochet is set to lead off the 8th, so they will try to get 7 innings out of him if possible. He'll be facing Boucher, Neal, and Hickman. 5-4, and that is a catcher X. That's a 3. Maldonado's a 3. So we go to the catcher spot, 3 and 3 for the catcher, and that's a pop out. So pops him out, 1 away for Charlie Neal. One 9 for Neal, struck him out. That's strikeout number 7 for Crochet. And Jim Hickman, your batter. 2-6 for Hickman. He's going to fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. And that's going to be it for Crochet. So Crochet will go 7 innings. And give up the 1 run, which is unearned. It's 1 run, but it's unearned. He ends up walking 3. Striking out 7. And hits allowed 1. Is that it? Just the 1 hit? No, 2 hits. Okay, he only allowed 2 hits. And now the White Sox will send up a pinch hitter for Mr. Crochet. And so we'll go to their bench and look at the possible pinch hitters. They have backup catcher Corey Lee. They have Kevin Pillar, who goes to the Angels later. Eloy Jimenez, who goes to Baltimore later, and Gavin Sheets. So it looks like Gavin Sheets is going to pick up a bat and hit. So Gavin Sheets will be the pinch hitter. He will pinch hit here in the 8th inning. Gavin Sheets against Jay Hook. And why not? Jay Hook is not allowed anything. So it's going to be Gavin Sheets, to start things off here in the 8th inning. Gavin Sheets. I think Jay Hook's card is falling off the page here of being able to show things, so I'm going to have to move these cards over. so that we can fit things on the page, at least the batting card over, so I can get J Hook back in his proper spot. So here's Gavin Sheets. 1-4 for Sheets, and he strikes out. Strikeout for Sheets, he's done. And strikeout number 4 for J Hook. Here's Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi is 0 for 2 with a walk. 1-6, and he's going to be 0 for 3 as he lines to second base. 2 down. For Paul DeYoung, third baseman, he's 1 for 3. 1-6, and he's going to strike out. He's 1 for 4. 5th strikeout for Hook. And now Hook is 1 inning away from pitching a complete game shutout and giving the Mets the win. The White Sox will need a new pitcher. And these are the pitchers they can choose from. They have Michael Soroka, Steve Wilson, Jordan Leisure, Tanner Banks, Tim Hill, Dominic Leone, John Brebbia, and Michael Kopech. So who do they go to? Well, let's see. It's Canizero, Hook, and Mantilla. You're not pinch hitting for Hook. You're going to let him pitch the complete game if at all possible. The way he's pitching, you don't want to take him out. So they're going to go to Michael Kopech. He would later get traded to the Dodgers, but he does have 9 saves. So Kopech is your pitcher for the White Sox. And again, it's going to be Canizero, Hook, the pitcher, and then the top of the order. So Canizero is 0 for 2, strikeout, and a fly to left. Bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Mets. 2-7, that's a base on balls. And that will allow Hook to bunt. So Hook will get the bunt sign out. Get the bunt chart out, I should say. And we're just going to roll 2 D6s. It doesn't matter about ratings or infield in or anything. It's just a sacrifice. And that's an 11. Batter pops it up, and so he's going to be out with the runner holding. So it's a bad bunt. He pops it up. Not bad bunny, but bad bunt. He pops it up to first and hauled in by Vaughn for out number 1. That's going to bring up Felix Mantilla. 4-7, and that's a walk right there. So another walk by Kopech. 2 on and 1 out for Elio Chacon. 3-9, and that's a fly to center, out number 2. And that brings up Gus Bell. 3-3, and it's a ground ball to second to end the inning. So we go to the 9th, last chance for the White Sox. If they would like to do anything. So it will be Vaughn, Shoemake, and Fletcher due up for the White Sox against J Hook, who's going for the complete game. Complete game shutout, no less. Let's see here. Kopech went 1 inning. Going to walk 2. Give up nothing else. So Hook is in there for to try to get this game and get this shutout over with. Up for the White Sox, it's going to be Robert, Vaughn, and Shoemake. Top of the 9th, 1-0 Mets. 3-6, and that's a single, leadoff single for Louis Robert. He is an A stealer, so it's a good chance they may send him. The catcher, though, Canizero is a 2, so it's a -3 factor. A stealer is a 15, -3 make that a 12. A 1 to 12, he could try to steal and get in scoring position. And he got caught stealing. Boy, just crime doesn't pay in this game. Got caught stealing, and that's going to be out number 1 for Andrew Vaughn. 6-3, and that's a base on balls. Boy, that caught stealing hurts now. Vaughn's certainly not going anywhere. And here comes Braden Shoemake. Now, he's a 125 hitter. They would like to pinch hit, but I don't think they have anybody else to play shortstop unless there's somebody in their lineup that they can move around. I don't think, well, Nicky Lopez could play short, but then I don't think they have any other infielders. That's the problem. So they're going to have to let Shoemake hit because they just don't have anybody. So Shoemake's going to have to hit. 4-7. It's off the pitcher card anyway. 4-7, but he struck out. The dice know who's batting. That's what somebody told me. It doesn't matter if it comes off the pitcher card or not. The dice still know that it's a poor hitter up there, and he's going to make an out. So it's up to Dominic Fletcher. Last chance. Robert at first, 2 down. 5-4, and that's a catcher X. That's a 6. We go to the catcher, and the catcher Canizaro's a 2. So it's a 2 with a 6. 2 and a 6 is out on a dribbler, and that's going to end the ball game. A 2-3 ground out will do it, and Jay Hook has shut out the Chicago White Sox 1-0. White Sox make 2 errors that directly led to the 1 run. Hook the complete game victory. Only 2 hits for the Mets in the game. White Sox had 1, 2. They just had 3 hits. So incredibly low scoring and low offensive of any kind in there. Let's see, Hook struck out 6 and he walked 1, 2, 3, 4. He walked 4. So there you go, star of the game, Jay Hook. He shuts out the White Sox 1-0 on a 3-hit shutout. Tough luck loser, Garrett Crochet. He went 8 innings, only giving up 2 hits, but the unearned run, the error by DeYoung, followed by his own error there, and that took care of business. Mets could have had a couple more runs. They had 2 guys thrown out, one caught stealing and one trying to score. So it, probably could have been worse, but as it was, the Mets win it 1-0 in the battle of ineptitude here in Strat Basic. Tabby is walking around making noise. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but she is. I'm not sure what she wants. I'm petting her, but I don't know what she wants. Tabby, you want to go up on your perch? Come here. Hold on. I'll help you. I will help you. Hold on. There you go. All right, maybe that'll calm her down now. So I don't know how this came through on my phone. Like I said, it's been a while since I've recorded on my phone. Don't know how well everything showed up. I don't know about the lighting or anything else. Won't know until I post it. So I'll post this sometime. I'm not sure when. I'm recording this on Saturday night. I believe it's since I'm retired, I lose track of days. But I'm thinking it's the 22nd. It could be the 23rd. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but next weekend is Labor Day, put it that way. So we're a week away from Labor Day. But I think it's either the 22nd or 23rd. Like I said, I know it's a Saturday night. That's all I know. So I'll probably post this so it goes on Sunday morning. So we shall see. But that's going to do it from here. A neat, tidy game, a 1-0 ball game. Like I said, I don't know if it's inept batting or just the pitchers just happen to have a good day. I don't know. But there you go. Mets beat the White Sox 1-0. I don't know if I'll try to make a series out of this or not, but I just thought I'd try it once in basic and see what happens. I could go back and play them again in super advanced and see if that's any different. I don't know, but it was my one chance to try to do Strat Basic and put that out there for the folks that like Strat Basic. And hopefully, if you're one of those people, hopefully this game turned out to where you enjoyed it. For the folks that like super advanced, hopefully this didn't bore you to tears. So let's see here before I sign off. Let me pause the video real quick.